So if you're a critter, you're probably already aware of Thresher, the new two-part actual play show from Critical Role. But with this announcement, I've begun to wonder, is there a hidden meaning behind Thresher? A little experiment that Critical Role is running. Before we get into that, what is Thresher? Thresher follows the crew of the deep sea submarine, the SS Thresher, as they delve deep beneath the waves. The crew's mission is to explore a long abandoned geothermal energy facility known as Ran Bor. As this story unfolds, the Thresher's crew will face off against whatever horrors call the ocean floor home, and most likely each other. The world of Thresher was created by Matt Linton and Jacqueline Emerson, while its gameplay, which is based on Critical Role's own Candela Obscura, was created by Jasper William Cartwright. Jasper will also be Thresher's game master, and he is well known for his roles in Dragon's Dogma 2, Dimension 20, and 3 Black Halflings. Jasper is also a returning face to Critical Role, having appeared in the podcast The Reslayer's Take. Joining him is a pretty fantastic cast, and it's this cast that's garnered the most attention. First up is Jacqueline Emerson, who'll be playing Emily Wadsworth. Jacqueline is an American actress, musician, and writer, known for appearing in The Hunger Games as well as multiple TV shows including Chicago Med and Wayward Guide. And as I previously mentioned, Jacqueline is one of the creative minds behind Thresher's world. Next, we have Mark Mara Sherlock Humes, who'll be playing Beatrice Betty Callahan. Humes is very well known in the TTRPG world, and like Cartwright, should be a familiar face to Critical Role fans. Mark is a professional dungeon master and Twitch streamer, who is probably best known for his role as the dungeon master in the D&D actual play show High Rollers. Humes is also the writer of Price of Beauty in the official D&D book Candlekeep Mysteries. To us critters, Humes might be best known for playing Kaliana in Campaign 2 of Critical Role, and for trying to influence the results of the D&D Beyond presidential election. Noshir Dalal will be playing Hercules de Baudin. Noshir is a very well-known and experienced actor, having done everything from plays to TV, including Love, Death and Robots and The Orville, and a plethora of voice acting roles in video games. Noshir's roles include Charles Smith in Red Dead Redemption 2, Charles Conn in Death Stranding, and Bo Dakuna in Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
What took you so long?
Oh, just hanging out.
Like Cartwright and Humes, Noshir is another member of the extended Critical Role family. He was in the third campaign of Candela Obscura, The Circle of Tide and Bone, and appeared in the three-part series Critical Role Downfall, which was like a little mini-campaign towards the end of Critical Role's third campaign. Next up is Kenyan British actor and video game developer Abu Bakar Salim, who will be playing Damon Adams. Abu Bakar has a wide variety of roles on screen, where he has appeared in House of the Dragon, Ridley Scott's Napoleon, and Raised by Wolves. For video game fans out there, he is Bayek in the Assassin's Creed series, Rokan in World of Warcraft, and Zhao in Tales of Kenzera Zhao.
I just wait in the shadows, and I will kill you all. Everyone who sniffed the air that day in Sewa.
Abu Bakar is also the founder of Surgeon Studios, the developer behind Tales of Kenzera, which he also directed, and which recently won the Game Beyond Entertainment Award at the most recent video game BAFTAs. Like several people on this list, Abu Bakar should be well known to critters, having appeared in an episode of Four-Sided Dive, hosted a Critical Role panel at 2023's MCM Comic Con, appeared in 4 episodes of Campaign 3, and voiced Zanror in The Legend of Vox Machina. And last but most certainly not least is Jane Douglas, who's playing the role of Valerie Val Sutton. And look, I'm going to be fully honest here, Jane is the person on this list I am most excited to see, and Critical Role really half-arsed her description when compared to the rest of the cast. So excuse me while I go on for a bit about how brilliant she is. Jane has worked as a journalist within the video game industry for many years, and with her most well-known role being one of the 3 co-founders/hosts of the YouTube channel Outside Xbox, which has been running since 2012. Jane has also played a significant role in the video game BAFTAs over the years, where she has presented awards and hosted the red carpet. Alongside her work in video games, Jane has appeared as an extra in several movies, including Star Wars Rogue One, Ready Player One, and Jurassic World Dominion. When it comes to the TTRPG world, Jane has hosted several videos for the official Dungeons & Dragons YouTube page back in 2022. However, she is probably most well known as one of the co-founders and stars of the Oxventure channel, a spin-off of Outside Xbox and its sister channel Outside Extra. Currently, she's playing Willowfine in Oxventure Weirdwood and Garnet Monroe in Oxventure Deadlands, which is currently airing its 2nd season. Previously, she played Zilla in Oxventure Blades in the Dark, but Jane's most well-known character is Prudence the Tiefling Morlock, whom she played for several years in the original Oxventure series and the music video Literally Everyone Else in the World. And like the rest of the Oxventure cast, Prudence has appeared in the game Idle Champions.
I assume you're here to forge an alliance with me and turn me against my friends? Let's talk terms.
So cool, that's where your mind went.
4 gold.
Now that I've gone through the cast of Thresher, you've probably noticed what has drawn everyone's attention. None of the original cast are present. This is quite unusual, as the smaller side shows, whether they are one or two shots or mini campaigns, have always featured at least some of the original cast. Matt, Ashley, and Liam were in Exandria Unlimited, Travis, Sam, and Marisha were in Calamity, and all 8 of them have appeared across the different seasons of Candela Obscura. At the time of recording, The Reslayer's Take is the only show where none of the original 8 have been part of the main cast. However, they do appear as guests. The Reslayer's Take is also a podcast, so this will be the first show Critical Role does that has a visual element where none of the main cast are present. And I wonder if the choice not to have any of the main cast in Thresher is Critical Role's big experiment. Are they trying to see if they can put out successful content that the main cast are not part of? This is a question I've been thinking about for quite a while, ever since Matt Mercer hinted at this back in 2021 when he was interviewed by Philip DeFranco.
So for you, is this how long you want to do this?
To a degree, always. At the pace that we're going now, I will ignite in a number of years. I will just be a pile of ash in a pair of sweatpants, and so for me, I will to a degree always be doing this. I love it too much. But also there eventually needs to be a torch to pass, you know. I think I look forward to a day where we take our home game back privately. You know, the cameras are great and sharing it is great, but there also is something about kind of dovetailing it back into having it just us, and maybe still being involved in things, still doing small form shows in the channel, but also allow an opportunity for a new generation to come in and kind of carry it.
Back in 2021, Matt knew that he and the others couldn't be the faces of Critical Role forever, but they obviously didn't want to stop being part of it. As Matt seems to indicate, they may end up moving more and more behind the scenes rather than being in front of the camera. We know all of the cast have roles within the company outside of the show, which will take up a lot of their time. Travis is the CEO, Matt is the Chief Creative Officer, Marisha is the Creative Director, Sam is the Executive Producer, Writer, and Casting Director for The Legend of Vox Machina, and the Executive Producer for The Legend of the Mighty Nine, and Ashley is the President of the Critical Role Foundation. And this level of involvement with other parts of the company is only going to grow as time goes on and as the company takes on more and more projects. At this moment, The Legend of Vox Machina has had 3 seasons, with its 4th currently being worked on. We know that The Legend of the Mighty Nine is currently being worked on as well, and I imagine The Legend of Bell's Hells has probably at least been discussed now that Campaign 3 is over. We know that Travis has expressed an interest in doing Calamity as an animated series. This was confirmed in a Screen Rant article, and that also hinted at non-Critical Role related projects that they are considering. Of course, everyone knows about the Business Insider article that confirmed that we are finally getting a Critical Role video game. This article also confirmed the possibility of shows other than the animated ones. And there is a large amount of print material and other merchandise that is being worked on pretty much all of the time. And all of the cast will be involved in some of, if not all of these projects. Business Insider article mentioned that Liam and Marisha would be involved in the other TV shows. Liam and Taliesin usually play a big role in Critical Role's print media, while Sam is most likely going to be heavily involved with a lot of the animation. And I don't even want to think about all of the lore work Matt is going to have to do for the video game alone, let alone the rest of these projects. Combine all of this with the voice acting for the above projects, the voice acting and directing for other projects outside of Critical Role, and their own personal lives, it would be easy to imagine that the cast are starting to spread themselves a bit thin. So maybe that's what Thresher is? To see if a project, a small one to start with, can be successful without the main cast. And looking at the past few shows, it could be argued that Critical Role has been easing themselves into this for quite a while. First, they got to test the waters with Exandria Unlimited, a new canon show that was relevant to the next main campaign, told by a completely new DM, Abria Eingar, who was fantastic. But it did keep several of the familiar faces from the main show. Then there was Calamity, where we got to see one of the most important parts of Exandrian history, told by someone who wasn't Matt, but Brennan Lee Mulligan, who was also fantastic. Candela Obscura allowed for new types of long-form stories to be told, with plenty of new players, new GMs, and a new game system. And then there was Campaign 3, which came along with new long-term guests and the addition of a new main cast member, Robbie Damon. Campaign 3 also had guest DMs, completely different parties and storylines to follow, and the cast playing multiple characters, sometimes at the same time. So yes, over the past few years, I think it's safe to say that Critical Role has at least been trying to mix things up a bit and break out of the mold they'd set themselves into. And I think Thresher is that next step. A show with a significant investment of resources, but none of the main cast. But was this an intentional choice? Well, it couldn't be a mistake or accident. There's no way they drew up the cast and then realised that they forgot to put themselves in it. It's possible that they originally intended to have some of the main cast in Thresher, but their schedules didn't match up, but that seems really unlikely to me. In my own opinion, I don't think Thresher was created or cast with the intention of it being this massive test for how a show could do without the main cast. However, at the same time, I imagine this thought has crossed the production team's minds, and they will most likely be keeping their eyes on Thresher's numbers and the feedback from the audience. Because if it works with a small two-parter, maybe it can work with a mini campaign. Maybe a future series of Candela Obscura could be all new people. And while it is really interesting to see a Critical Role show without the main cast, I can't imagine we're going to be seeing any major changes in the lineup of the main campaign anytime soon. In a different Business Insider article, the cast stated they are interested in bringing in new faces, but they aren't going anywhere. After reading this, it makes sense that Thresher and other recent one-shots have so many new faces. But this is a bit of a contradiction to what Matt said to Philip DeFranco all those years ago. But I get the impression that Matt was thinking much further down the line, more long term, and at this moment, nothing major is going to change. When Campaign 4 eventually rolls around, I imagine it will still be the same core 8 cast members, hopefully 9 with Robbie. But I imagine, like with Campaign 3, they'll be testing out how they do things and will take a few more gambles when it comes to the format, the game, story, and guests. And while it is probably a long way off before any of the main cast stand down from the main show, I do think Thresher could be an indication of where some of these short form shows could be going. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see more one or two shots or mini campaigns that don't have any of the main cast. But what do you guys think? Was Thresher created as a way to test out how the Critical Role audience would react to a show without the main cast? When, if ever, do you think the main cast will step back from their roles in front of the camera? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Will you be watching Thresher when it drops on the 24th of April? And do you think the lack of the main cast will affect its numbers and reviews? If you like this video, do give it a like and a comment because it's greatly appreciated and it does help the channel grow. Do check me out on Twitter, Medium, and TikTok. And please do subscribe to this channel to stay updated on all of my content going forward. And with that, I shall see you all next time.